Stephanie Acosta, and I'm here today with Mr. Moe, who is an expert and advisor to us here at the Chain Fangs. This AMA is just really to just kind of get some discussion points in, discussing Moe's experience and his input and advice on how we are going through our process of venture conservation here at Chain Fangs. I think really what's great about this conversation is we're going to talk about this game-changing kind of platform that we're using the power of the crypto community and our followers and our supporters to start to really use private venture and the community to buy land for conservation. And so with that, I'm so pleased to have Mr. Moe here.
Great. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here and love what you guys are doing. I think that using blockchains, NFTs for other type of applications, conservation being one of them, no question will be, I think we'll see a lot more of this in 2022 and moving forward. So thank you for having me.
The first question is, I think, is why, in your opinion, has crypto evolved in order to really start working for social good?
Yeah, so I mean, when we think about cryptocurrencies, we have to kind of start with the story first. And the story begins with Satoshi Nakamoto, who's the creator of the Bitcoin white paper and the inventor of what we refer to as the operating system that runs Bitcoin, which is blockchain technology. Now, the story really begins in 2008 during the financial collapse, where some bad behavior caused a very big problem around the world. And it kind of created the meltdown of our housing market back in '08. And that hurt a lot of people. So what was going on there was a lack of transparency. So as a result, a lot of trust got knocked out, and it inspired him to figure out a solution to change that. And that was the invention of Bitcoin. But more importantly, it was the invention of blockchain technology, which allows for a more transparency in all different industries, especially things like real estate, which I think we do need more transparencies. And also there's an opportunity there to really make the process of buying an asset or even selling an asset more efficient. The question for me is, can you buy a home faster than 30 days? And in the virtual world, we already have our answer. We buy and sell properties all day long, and we do that in minutes. The question is, will that happen in the physical world? So how does that happen? It happens really through a new type of technology. This technology is called blockchains. And today, the blockchains also have a new feature. So we use smart contracts. So instead of those big, thick contracts that you would see coming on your desk, they're just basically turning into software now. So you're basically taking those things that are on the paper and you're putting them into code. So you're pre-programming everything in advance with your rule sets. You can also do really cool things like even set royalties to your smart contracts, your NFTs. So the important thing to understand, though, is that with this technology, it enables multiple different things. They're programmable assets. Yes, you can program them as a security, as a commodity, as a utility. You could use NFT think of it as a digital wrapper around hard assets. So that could be anything. That could be a piece of land. The NFT could actually act as the new title of someone's home or someone's property. But within all of this also is, how do we make the world a little bit more, bring more equilibrium into the world, I should say, being that there's a lot of inequality happening. And this technology, I think, allows for that. So for many, many projects now, not just coming to market, they also want to have some type of social cause behind what they do. And we're starting to see that inside of a lot of different cryptocurrency projects. You'll see the art world, right? You see the Bible stories of the world. He sells a $69 million piece of art, right? But some of these proceeds also are making their way back to nonprofit causes. I think the biggest story of a good social cause is the creator of Ethereum. His name is Vitalik Buterin. He had participated in a project with a token. It was a meme coin at the time, but it's grown out of that, and it's gaining its utility. He was able to use some of the tokens there to actually give them back to a COVID relief program in India. And the value of that was about $1 billion. It's actually one of the largest social good causes in cryptocurrencies, coming from a token called Shiba Inu, by the creator of Ethereum, who was gifted some of these, but he wanted to give it back to really good causes. So that's a really good example of some projects, how they use crypto for social good during a human health crisis during the pandemic, to try to resolve some of the challenges that we have with COVID. And that lends to the idea, well, if they can do it with that token, can you do that with your NFTs today? And I think the answer is yes, you can. You can find very unique projects and applications, which is why I really like what you guys are doing. You're using blockchains for the purpose of acquiring land for the purpose of conservation. So there's already a social good tied into that. So that's a very powerful thing. And I think that the people and the projects and groups and communities who are at the forefront of this are going to be, when we look back in hindsight, they're going to be part of this blockchain and crypto journey and story. This is going to be an important moment for conservation. You will show an example of how you can use cryptocurrencies and NFTs to achieve multiple different things, as well as social good. So I see a lot more evidence that we will see a lot more of this, but I love that there's not too many projects on conservation. So Chang Fangs in my book is, the first. If there's another one, please share it with me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's along the lines of why we are so excited to be one of the first, or one of the firsts, and really kind of making the idea of land purchase and NFTs something that's viable, but can be used for the good. As we know in the news, there's been some land purchases already with NFTs, but now if we, garner the power of our community to really make a difference, it's a transaction, but it has a good cause behind it. And do you see, just quickly, about how NFTs would be used in the future, or how we are doing it for our platform to not only buy land, but other ways to in conservation, or ways that we could assist our community with building out other ideas that we could also use the power of crypto to do good?
Yes, that's the amazing part, that you're just at the beginning of this journey. So today you can simply buy a piece of land for the purpose of conservation using an NFT. An NFT is unique just because it is the tool that we will be using for the next version of the internet, especially as we head into the metaverse. And that's a whole other topic to get into. But, right. But overall, you have to consider that these are programmable assets. So today you may program it as, here's an NFT. What the purpose of this NFT is for us to purchase a land for conservation. That's today. Tomorrow it could be for water. The day after that, it could be for multiple different sectors in conservation, not just land, not just water, but multiple different. And that's what I think is super, super exciting. The other thing is that I think that as you go through that, you'll learn other ways to program other utilities into the NFT. And that's something that you'll go through and figure out what makes the most sense. And that's also the opportunity also to leverage organizations, communities, everyone that's interested inside of conservation to come together and help problem solve these things. So I think moving forward, yes, you will have multiple different applications and utilities. Today, it's just we're starting with one, a very simple one. And I think if you can demonstrate that, then the potential and the possibilities are endless. Fractionalization is going to be part of this culture moving forward. You're seeing that also inside of broader markets now. You're seeing companies that want to fractionalize their stocks now. Platforms like Robinhood also, you can't afford $1,000 Apple stock, no problem. We'll sell you a fraction, a tenth of that. So you're seeing that, and that's something that crypto already does. It's designed that way from its inception. So what I love about it is, again, it doesn't require you to rely on just one person or a small amount of people, but a very large community can come together with small donations, with micro donations, and fractionalizing this and harnessing that power to achieve your objectives, to actually purchase a land and then maintain the land and meeting your objectives for conservation. So
yeah, it's so, record breaking and game changing, like I've been saying. You've been advisor on many projects and you've seen a lot, and you're in on the ground floor of many things, and you've seen and very successful campaigns and campaigns that may have taken a little longer. But I know that our probably audience wants to know, like, what stands out to you about our cause, and what would you what kind of advice would you give them to get involved, and how you see us growing as one of our advisors?
Yeah, so what I think is, this is a great opportunity for people first to learn the asset class and basically learn the fundamentals of, like, what's a blockchain, what's an NFT, and then answering the most important question, and that is why? Why should we use this? And I think the more that you begin to understand that, the more the more upside there is in all of these new technologies. It's like if we went back to the .com era, and I am trying to share with you and educate with you about this thing called e-commerce. We couldn't wrap our head around the idea of e-commerce in the early days. It's like, wait a minute, you want me to put my credit card on the internet? No way, no one will ever do that. Fast forward today, that is the normal, right? So yeah. NFTs are kind of the next evolution of that. So if you want to compare it, it's basically NFTs are the modern day version of an e-commerce. But here's the difference. With an e-commerce, it requires you to have a credit card, a bank, a merchant service, a clearinghouse, all the intermediaries that it takes for a transaction to happen, versus using NFTs, there are no intermediaries. This is about the automation of a transaction that is verifiable. We don't have to trust each other, but we just have to be able to verify that the claims that you're making are true. And we can do that using the blockchain. We can see the blockchain is a ledger. It's an automated ledger that allows us to verify things. So that's great for things like property. If you own that property, you have to be able to verify that you are the owner of that. And the technology is making it available now for applications, especially in real estate. I think, if anything, in 2022 is the year of disruption for blockchains and NFTs. So if it's being used for realtors or developers today, then it leads me to the question, why can't this be used for conservation? That is a natural progression. And I think that this is the beginning phases of that. So I'm excited to see what comes behind this. Like anything else, this requires an education, yes, but it also requires being part of community. And sometimes that means being part of new communities like crypto, right? So here's the conservation community now beginning to come together with the crypto community and understand, what does all of this mean and how can we work together? How do we empower the mission and the message, and to really make conservation much easier and to get more people to participate? And I think the way you do that is you implement all of these technologies, implement the NFTs. People are buying NFTs for different purposes today. They will buy them as a collectible, as a piece of art, as an investment. But for social good causes, I think we see more evidence that this will continue to happen in all the different sectors too, not just not just in the real estate development side, but I also think, again, inside of the conservation space. The conservation space should embrace the new technology. It should embrace the disruption of it. Like every other industry, they have to embrace the change and the evolution of that. It's really an opportunity right now to actually do that, mainly because also some of the proceeds will come from people all over the country, actually all over the world. You may find people in Europe, Latin America, in Australia, in Asia, that the premise of the organization and its mission resonates with them. So here's an opportunity to actually participate, become part of community. I buy an NFT, I support the cause, I support the community. And it's kind of like you're giving back. And there's a record of that also, which is pretty exciting. So super excited for what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think too, going back to the utility and the how the conservation will go with that. Our NFTs are also kind of duly supplied. So, we the great part about us is that you get a puzzle piece, and that piece represents, the mission, and you're contributing to the mission. What do you see the application of those of what we're doing and how how that stands out to you?
Yeah, so this is very similar to the gamification, right? So a kid today can go online and play a blockchain game and actually buy some virtual land and be incentivized too. The more land that you buy, the bigger your kingdom becomes, the more rewards that you get. So in a way, I think that's a very, very creative way to approach it. It's not just a, hey, put a donation in, just send a donation. It's, hey, here's a very interesting way to approach being able to take conservation, take people, find individuals that the idea speaks to them, it resonates with them, and they're interacting with you with these NFTs. NFTs, to be able to use NFTs in a creative way, I think is really a game changer. And so I like that approach, gamify it, because it also allows for people to kind of just go down the rabbit hole a little bit more and learn about the asset. And as you're going through it also, as you're playing a game, everyone wants to play a game, everyone wants to win. So we want to get as many pieces as possible. So I know I'm going to get a few puzzles in there. So I want to see how that puzzle unfolds. And these are the ideas that we need in this space. We need creative ideas like this. So if it's today, it's a puzzle. I'm sure you guys have like a ton of other ideas that you'll bring to the space, and you try all of these things out. It also requires a little bit of experiment also, because this is early days of blockchain. So again, if we go back to the .com era, you would be experimenting a little bit first. You'd put up a web page, put up some text, a picture, a link. And then as you get more comfortable, you start adding more features to your website, more information, right? You add video, you add all the different things that allow you to speak to potential customers and clients, or even just communities as well. So I love the fact that you guys are looking just beyond the NFT and saying, okay, let's make this a little bit more fun. Let's create puzzle pieces and let's incentivize people to, get as many of these pieces as possible. But at the end of the day, here's the thing, that I'm playing the game, yes, but I know that at the end of it, it's a social good cause. And that is the most important thing. That's like, yeah, no problem. Like that's cool. That's the great thing about this.
Yeah, no, this is so great. And we really appreciate you again doing this with us. I think one of the last questions that we have is just basically, if somebody out there is watching us, like how do I become a part of our Chain Fang gang, right? And what as a community, how do we move forward to make more impact? What should the person be watching this want to do with us?
Yeah, I would encourage anybody watching to first follow on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. join the Discord, be part of community, be part of problem solving. How do we take conservation and crypto into the 21st century? How do we make this more inclusive for people that the cause is close to them? And again, this is going to require some education on everyone's part. This will require education for everyone: lawyers, board members, realtors, people that have been in conservation, even the cryptocurrency space, because these are new applications for us that we're learning every time with. So education is at the core of it. And then after education is really, being around the like-minded people. So the culture, if we look at internet and crypto culture, it's about building communities. And that's the important thing to understand. Consider this: a platform like Facebook is a centralized platform. When you post an idea or concept, a picture, and people like it, share it, and comment, and it goes viral, most of that value is captured by, actually all of that value is captured by Facebook. They monetize that. You are the product, right? So in Web3, and this is what the changes, the culture is changing. How do we control and own our own data? And that is about changing the infrastructure. Blockchains allow us to achieve that. NFTs are the container of culture, and community creates the network effect, but they use NFTs to capture the value of that. So the way we value things, the way that our trust is beginning to change, right? Yes, we got on Facebook, but now we realize that they hold too much data. So how do we get the end users to be in more control of the data? End users also will participate. They will vote with their crypto, right? They'll vote on the things that are important to them, that align with their values. So social good causes for this millennium generation also, that's a very important thing for them. So if you can create a space where people can learn, be part of community, participate with NFTs, with causes that are close to them, then I think there's a tremendous opportunity there.
Yeah, wow, this is so great. It was such an honor for you to join us here. We're going to beg you to do more later. But for everybody watching out there, please find us. We're the Chain Fangs, and we're going to put all of the information at the end of this video. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me.